Hey, welcome back to Delectable You Recipes for Life. You know, I had the most amazing kale salad the other day at this place called Cafe here in Los Angeles. It was a kale salad with spicy peanut dressing, and if you know anything about me, you know I'm kind of obsessed with peanuts and kale, but that's another story. So, of course, I came home, I recreated the recipe in my kitchen, and now I am going to show you what to do. It's crunchy, it's savory, it's a little bit sweet, and it's all awesome. So, let's make some salad. Now, I've already got some kale. I took one bunch of kale. I took the stems off because the stems are chalky and yucky and we don't want those. And I blanched them. So what you do to blanch, take a pot of water and you boil the water, and when it's boiling you throw the kale in for 2 minutes, set the timer, and then you take the kale out and you put it right into a bath of cold water. You literally put ice cubes into cold water and you throw the kale in there, and it stops the cooking process, which is what we want because we don't want mushy kale. And then what you get is this. You get perfectly cooked kale. So now all I'm going to do is roughly chop it. You don't need any knife skills to do this, just don't chop your fingers off, and chop the kale nice and roughly into bite-sized pieces. I tend to like them a little bit like smaller, like that piece, but you can do whatever you want because it's your salad. All right, that should do it. That's nice and roughly chopped. Let's get this out of the way. And we're just gonna put our kale into our salad bowl. Now, the kale's still a little bit watery, but this is okay because it's going to mix well with the dressing. It's gonna water it down a little bit, which I kinda like. All right, let's move this aside because I do not wanna cut myself. And actually that can go aside. Now we're gonna make the dressing. So I'm gonna use a blender. If you don't have a blender or you prefer to use a food processor, no problem. So into this blender, we're gonna add some magic ingredients. First, we're gonna start with a ½ cup of peanut butter. I, of course, made the peanut butter myself because I am a crazy nut butter maker. And it's just so easy to make yourself. So let's put that in there. I'm gonna refrain from licking the jar in the spatula. Get that in there. It's almost a ½ cup. You can eyeball it like I do, no problem. All right, peanut butter is in there. Now we're gonna add a 1.5 tablespoons of honey. I'm gonna eyeball this too because I kind of know what it looks like. So there's 1 and then 1/2. There's our sweet part of our savory. Now we're gonna add 2 tablespoons of tamari. I'm not gonna eyeball this because tamari is soy sauce. Essentially it's gluten-free soy sauce and it's very salty. So if you put too much of this, it'll be way too salty. So there's 1. And 2. I'm being a little messy. All right, now let's add 2 tablespoons of rice vinegar. Again, I'm not gonna eyeball this because I don't want it to be too acidic. There we go. Okay, I've got 1 clove of garlic that I've minced up already. Put that in there. And yeah, it's gonna get blended up, so did you have to mince it before? Maybe not, but it kind of helps the blender. So next is a teaspoon of minced ginger. That smells so good. Okay. And then for a little spice, so we're gonna add about 1/4 teaspoon of chili flakes, red pepper. And just like a little pinch of sea salt, like 1/4 teaspoon at the most. I would even say less than that because the tamari is already so salty. And then we're gonna add 1/4 cup of hot water. So it's gonna melt it, not melt it, it's not gonna melt it. It's gonna water it down a little bit. And that is the dressing. Now we just need to make it smooth. And this is how we're gonna do it. But guess what? You need to plug this in if you want it to work. There we go. Let's just blend this up until it's nice and smooth. it's ready and it smells so good. If you like peanut butter, which in case you weren't listening, I do. All right, so now if you look at this and it's, you know, it's not liquidy enough for you and you want to add more water, taste it and add more water. It's no problem. But remember, there's still some water left from our blanched kale, so it's going to water down the dressing a little bit. So we're just going to pour this dressing over our kale. Get a little help from our peanut butter spatula. Ooh yeah, that's nice and thick. It's not too thick, it's not too watery, it's just right. It's like Goldilocks, the 3 bears, or the beds, or whatever those are. All right. Now, let's toss this all together. So everything is nice and coated. All right, we are almost done. I want to add a little bit more savory to this. So what I've done is I've taken an entire red onion and I've caramelized it. So I'm going to put that in there. It's still warm. Yum. And then I've taken about 1/4 cup of peanuts because there's peanut butter in here, so makes sense. I've roughly chopped them, so some of them are whole, some of them are chopped, you know. And now what we're gonna get is in every bite, it's gonna be sweet and savory. It's gonna be nice and chewy because of the caramelized onions, and you're gonna get a little bit of crunchiness from the peanuts. It's kind of awesome. So I tend to have this salad for lunch or for dinner, or I'll pull it out for a snack when I'm feeling a little bit hungry and I'm reaching for something perhaps not so good for me. This is a much better option. It's filled with protein. It's filled with lots of vitamin K because of the kale. So it's kind of a super food kind of salad. So that's it. Now you don't even have to go to M Cafe. You can just make this salad yourself at home. I hope that you enjoy it, and I'm so happy that you joined me. Thank you so much. I will look forward to seeing you again here next time. This has been Lauren with Delectable You. Enjoy your salad.